I hope that you guys all had a good week and are ready for today's story. Now, we've been talking about how Jesus was betrayed and arrested and his death and his resurrection. We also have been able to see how Jesus has appeared to Mary and to the two followers that were going to Emmaus. Today's story, though, we're going to be talking about how Jesus appeared to his disciples, and it comes from Luke chapter 24 and John chapter 20. Imagine if you were one of Jesus' disciples after he had died. How do you think you would have felt? The disciples actually met together in a house after Jesus died, and they locked all of the doors of the house because they were afraid. They had seen Jesus die, and they were scared of the people who killed Jesus. And right then and there, Jesus actually appeared to the disciples and stood by them and said, "Peace be with you." How do you think the disciples felt when they saw Jesus for the first time after he had died? The disciples were afraid, and they even thought that maybe they were seeing a ghost. But Jesus showed them that he was truly alive, and he was truly with them. He said, "Look at me, touch me. Ghosts do not have skin and bones, but I do." Jesus showed them his hands and his side where he was hurt while dying on the cross. And they could see that it was truly him and that he is truly alive. And this is such good news, right? And because of this, the disciples were so happy. After this, the disciples gave Jesus fish to eat, and Jesus talked with them and explained the Bible to them, telling them how it was all pointed to him, all about Jesus. And Jesus also told them that they had a job to do now. Jesus came and died on the cross and was raised from the dead so that people could be forgiven for their sins. And the disciples need to tell people to turn away from their sins and to point them to Jesus so that they may also be forgiven through him. Jesus was sent to earth by God, and now Jesus was sending out his disciples to spread this good news. Now, one of the disciples named Thomas wasn't actually with everyone when Jesus had first appeared to them. And because of this, he didn't believe that the disciples really saw Jesus. He wanted to be able to see Jesus and see his hands and touch his hands and his side where he was hurt. And he said that when he would be able to do this, he would truly believe that Jesus is alive and Jesus is back. Thomas wanted physical proof of all of this. It wasn't until 8 days later that Thomas and the disciples were together again, and Jesus appeared to them once more, saying, "Peace be with you." And Jesus went to Thomas and said, "Touch the marks on my hands and my side, and believe it. Believe that he is alive and he is with him. He is with them." Thomas immediately believed, and said, "My Lord and my God." Jesus told Thomas, "You believe because you have seen." People who believe without seeing are blessed. Throughout the story, we saw Jesus visiting and appearing to many people to show that he is alive. And Jesus is still alive today. And although we haven't seen him with our eyes, with our physical eyes, when we believe in him, we are blessed, just as Jesus said in our story today. In addition to this, we, by knowing Jesus and believing in him, we have good news that Jesus came and died on the cross and was raised from the dead to rescue us. So let us share this good news with people around us, like our friends and our family, that Jesus is alive. So that's the end of today's story and lesson. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and learned at least one thing from it. And next week we'll have another story, and so I hope you look forward to that, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!